you thought BNI was. Right? Like, this is a lot of people in one place. It's pretty amazing. 800 is the plan here today. Can you believe that? 800. Okay, I want you to imagine for a minute. It's 2001. Where were you at? What was going on in the world? Okay, I'll tell you. I was 26 years old. I was married to my wife, Tricia. She was working at her hair salon. We had a little 2-year-old son named Hayden Spencer, and he's my namesake. And then something happened. He had a light switch turn on that's never turned off, actually. And Caden, he was diagnosed later down the road with what is called Asperger's syndrome. And if you're familiar with the autism spectrum, it's a very high-functioning, Asperger's is very high-functioning in the autism spectrum. And that turned our world upside down. And it's been one of those challenges ever since. He's now, thank goodness, been able to grow up and go through a lot of great things to the point where he now lives on his own and goes to college, and we're really excited for him. But, there was a time that we really worried because we didn't know if he was connecting things in his brain. And one of those things was empathy. And if you think about empathy, there's actually 2 different sections in the brain, the 2 things that make up empathy. And the first one is being able to view a perspective from someone else. So you catch the other person's perspective. And then the second part of it is to have the emotion of what that other person thought. And so as you think about those 2 things, and that's empathy, one of the things that he was not able to do was to catch that first one. See the perspective from somebody else. And even though he could break down in tears and throw tantrums, even when he was 12 years old, 10 times a day, screaming and yelling and tears streaming down his face, he went to his grandmother, which was his best friend's funeral, and couldn't cry. Couldn't see that. It was an interesting thing, and so we were worried about that. It was like, what can we do for him? How can we help him? And, it was really... He's been able to, thank goodness, as he's grown up and matured, puberty and everything, it took a whole new world inside of him, and he's learned to embrace it and live with it and love it and be quirky and have people love the way he is, and he is so comfortable in his own skin and loving it, even though he's got all these little quirks and he's really fun. But what it allowed us to do as parents was to understand that we are leading our kids, and the only thing we can do is really love them, right? Just try as hard as we can. So I want to tell you about an individual that is a Fortune 500 executive coach. So he only coaches executives in Fortune 500 companies. And he said this. Well, actually, I want you to guess what he said. Because his thought was the number one job of a leader. And that's what we're all here today, yes? We're all leaders here. Whether that's a leader in our own business, a leader in our chapters, right? That's what we're training for today. We're doing this. I want you to think, what is the number one job of a leader? Turn to the person next to you and tell them what you think it is. What do we got? What are the ideas? To inspire. To model, be an example. To show up. To serve. To empower, to go above and beyond. Be an example. All these are good, but it's not what this guy says. Motivate is extremely important. And it's a piece of motivation, I believe. To listen is fantastic. Here's what he says, and this may be a shock to you because it's not the words we would normally use, especially for a Fortune 500 CEO type person that he would coach. But he would tell them this, that the number one most important job of a leader is to love those you serve. Now, when it comes to loving those you serve, how many of you go, yeah, no, I got some people in my chapter I don't necessarily love. That is the point. The point of the leader is to find the way to love. The empathy, right? To see things from another's perspective, as well as to feel the emotions of that other person. To have empathy, to love, and to see how you can impact their world. So as you think of loving those you serve, are you feeling the love in your chapter? hope so. If not, whose job is it now? Right? Those fingers now go in instead of out. We're not talking about you need to love more. It's in. So as you think about how can you love the people you serve more, we don't think in those terms normally in business, do we? Do some of you? Some of you do? That's not normally the term that we would use, but we love those we serve. So how about this? When it comes to somebody who's got their absences, how do you love them even though they keep coming at the are they not showing up? They don't have those absences. How do you do that? Because we have an account, right? We have a core value right here that says accountability. That's one of our core values. How do you love someone yet hold them accountable? Is that tough? Any of you parents? It's one of those things that you go, how in the world do you love someone and hold them accountable? Well, one is you have clear rules and set plan, right? When it comes to BNI, do we have clear policies? There's very little question that after that third absence, what's going to happen, right? They can get a half by being late or leaving early, and then they're right on it. But when that fourth one happens, what happens? Right? That is not the point of, I don't love you anymore. It's, you broke the rules. That's the plan. You can't do anything. When you break the rules, there's problems. You show up late. We all had curfews, yes? You were all 16 once. Maybe you showed up late once. I learned that my father taught me, it only happened once. It was severe enough consequences that then I realized I don't need to do that again. Accountability is part of that. So as you look at the opportunity of loving those you serve, it takes coming from that space, right? You've got to be in that space of love in order for it to work. Because if you come with the feeling of, I don't like this person very much, do you show up well? So as you think about leading in your chapter, whatever your leadership position is, membership committee, right? We have to enforce the rules. That's part of the deal. It's accountability. It's part of what we do. But do we do it with love? Because, what love might look like. I mean, just imagine. They've actually done a lot of studies, by the way, at BNI on a global scale. And BNI has stated that the number one reason people leave a chapter, do you know what it is? They don't think they're going to be missed. Seriously, that is it. I mean, that is the number one reason. Lots of studies have been done. There was all kinds of exit interviews, all kinds of things. And that is it. The number one is that they don't feel like they're going to be missed. What would it be like if we came from love and felt the love in our chapters and said, man, if somebody doesn't show up, we're going to send a few text messages at the beginning. Imagine what would happen. Have any of you ever gotten a flat tire on the way to a meeting? Or heard that excuse? Right? So, not saying it doesn't always happen, I'm just saying, right? If you have someone who's sitting on the side of the road with a flat tire, and their phone blows up with 35 messages saying, are you okay? We hope you're all right. We're missing you at the meeting. Do you think they're going to find a way to get the tire fixed and still get to the meeting? Or do you think they're, if they don't get those text messages, it may just be, man, I'm running late. I just got to get to work now. And now they build on the whole meeting. And what did they miss out on? What did they miss out on? Everything, right? They didn't hear the weekly presentations. They didn't get to give their own. They did not see the feature presentations. And we practiced really hard on that to make it really awesome. And they're going to miss out on that just because they don't feel like they have to be there now. But yet, if we're texting them saying, hey, man, just feel the love, we miss you. That's a different place to come from. Okay, so my next question would be this. How many of you want to make more money this year than you did last year? Raise your hands. Okay, so if you want to make more money, what must you do? You must do something different than you did last year. If you want a different result, we all know what this definition of insanity is, right? Same thing over and over, expecting a different result. If you want a different result, what must you do? You have to change. You have to do something different. But how many of you are ready to change? Yeah, some of you are like, I'm not. Like, change is not what I'm excited for. Okay? I get that. Some of us are resistant to change. Or you could have a different mindset and say, if I want to get better, I have to change. That's this core value, right? We have this core value, and it's called, right here, lifelong learning. You learn more, to do more, to earn more, and then you do differently. So if you want to earn more money this year than last year, you must change. How many of you are ready for that? Excited about that? Some of you are going, I still don't care. I get it. I understand. Good reminder, turn off cell phones if you got cell phones, guys, just so we don't get any interruptions. Okay, so we're talking about change. And if it's a positive change, we're all about it, aren't we? You don't want the negative change, but you'll take the positive change, yes? But what if it's uncomfortable? Part of the deal, right? Not all change is easy, not all change is good. But how will you know? If you make more money, you know you're doing something right. Right? The result will tell you whether or not that change was worth it. Sometimes change, you do it and you go, that didn't work out very well, right? Everybody had that experience? Anybody had any failures before? Yeah, fail fast, fail often. Because that gets you to the next thing, right? Next thing, now I can change it to something better. So, as it comes to change, I want you to think about this. There's one of the greatest authors, he's one of my favorites, his name is Marshall Goldsmith. And Marshall wrote a book that said, what got you here won't get you there. So, what got us here? Lots of great things. Amazing systems. The BNI success system that works. The processes, the plans, the programs, all the things that we currently have got us where we are. And where are we? We're at the top of the food chain almost. You're going to hear from somebody here in just a few minutes who's on the top of us when it comes to growth right now. And Shirley is the executive director in Midlands, South Carolina. And you want to talk about a very confident and very in your face, going to beat you with competition. That's where she's at. She's like, oh, no, you're going to take a run at me? Bring it on, right? So she is talking about what's going to get her there. And for the last couple of days, she actually flew in early because the whole hurricane thing was coming. And she's like, I may miss it. So she came in Thursday night early, and then we've had a couple of days to spend together and go out to a few meals. And she's talked about some of the amazing things that they are doing in their region. And I go, ooh, we can do some of those things. That's outside of what we're normally doing, outside of the way we've done things. But it's what's going to get us there. Because going from here to there, it takes change. And in your chapter, where do you want to go? Right? You're here. You have what you have right now. We have a couple of great chapters, and I see big groups from both of them that are really doing this challenge to see who's going to be the biggest. Because you all end up with number 72 and number 73, correct? At Referral Masters. 74! Because I just had the secretary-treasurer from the Nexus chapter who said, we just got in 70 tomorrow, and we got 2 more apps, we're on their heels, right? This is like this awesome stuff. I love it. And some of you are thinking, 70? That's way too big. I'm going to tell you something in just a minute that will blow your mind that Shirley's done. And it will blow your mind. That's all I'll say. But what I want you to see is what got us here won't get us there. And where you are in your chapter, maybe where you are in your chapter is not at the number that you want to be at, not the number of referral partners, because not as much business is being done, not as much referral money is being passed. And you want to get there. In order to do that, you have to have change, and you have to have everybody on your side. You got to get them to buy in. But how do you get people to buy in? How do you lead? What's the number one job of a leader?
Love those you serve.
Love those you serve. Sometimes you have to love people right out of the chapter. Right? That may be the best situation for them and for the other chapter members. Because if they don't want to play at the higher level, you can't get there. And so you got to look at how do we love very, very clearly. So we have our power of one. Just because someone's in the grave, does that mean they're a bad person or a bad business owner? Heavens no, it just might not be the right fit, or they haven't got the right stuff yet to get them going. And you can love them into that, and they can go, wow, catch fire and go. So loving those will help you get to where you want to go. Different little process. Now, I want to talk about our term theme. What has our term theme been? Leave no member behind. Leave no member behind. We've done some awesome things with this year. It's really been a powerful theme. But as we have a change of leadership, we also change our theme. And we're still having our pursuit. And that pursuit is what?
50 members. Passing 10 referrals per member per month.
Right, there you go. 50 plus 10 plus 1 equals 61. Now, I've actually been to some of the chapters that are larger than 50, and they've updated that number, and those numbers grow, and it still continues to work inside those formulas. So if you're not there yet, know that you can get there. And that's still what we're going to go for the pursuit of. But the new theme that we're going to talk about this year, I believe, is going to give an infused sense of who we are and what we really want in our chapters. And that is this. We want to be one and bring one. Now, as you think about be one, bring one, there's a lot of things that happen inside of that. As you think about be one and bring one, what's the first thing that comes to your mind? Be a leader, bring a leader. Be an example. Bring a person that can follow that example. What else? Inviting them up, right? Be that rebel and bring one of those people on. So we're going to have fun with this throughout the year. We're going to be able to have a different focus. And how many communication coordinators do we have out there? Raise your hands. This is a new one, right? You guys are going, ooh, these are new. They will be able to help us have this communication that happens throughout the region. And we're going to talk about one of those focuses. Because we're going to have a different focus with Be One, Bring One throughout the year. And how we can do that. To bring a great visitor. To bring a new member. To bring, and we'll have a whole bunch of different conversations around what we're going to do to be one and bring one in the pursuit of 50 plus 10 plus 1 equals 61. Is that exciting? Yeah. Awesome. Okay, in the spirit of we are growing, you have all seen that we've launched a few chapters this year, yes? All those people from new chapters, stand up. I want you to see this. Do you believe that? Amazing. Those are new blood into the system, and the energy and love that brings into the room, I hope you can feel it. They are truly making an impact inside of our world. And so as you look at this opportunity, you know what it's doing to the chapters that surround them? It's helping them too. Isn't that amazing? Referral masters, have you guys grown a little bit when we had a showcase chapter? Yeah, it really did some things. For each one of these chapters, they have actually seen some growth that happens in all the surrounding areas. So if you're worried about, oh no, why they keep bringing in new chapters? Well, it's because we're all going to grow. And we all grow with that. Now, when we grow, one of the things that does is it also makes us need to grow as an organization. So with Tricia and I running the region office, there are people that we need to bring on. So we are definitely in the process of trying to identify those people who want to play as ambassadors, who want to play as director consultants, launch director consultants, the professional development team, which we're going to talk a little bit more about at the end of the sessions when we come back here. So we're going to have this session, we're going to have another session we're going to talk about in a moment, and we're going to come back together again. So you want to come back because we're making a couple of cool announcements in the end of that, but I want to make an announcement now, and that is we have one of our areas that has become very large. And it is time to actually split that into a couple of different areas to be able to have that ability to the area directors to have the hands-on that they need inside of those areas. So in Pinellas, we've had some great growth this year. And that's allowed us to now say we're going to bring on another area director for the Pinellas area. We're going to have a southern Pinellas area and a northern Pinellas area. It's going to be that 60 line is going to be the imaginary line at this point to say that's where we're going to split that conversation. So those of you who are in the north and on the northern side, that's where Mickey lives, that's where Mickey works, and that's where Mickey's going to continue to lead those chapters. In the southern area, will you please welcome our newest area director, Miss Christine Mancini. So Christine will be leading as the area director in the southern Pinellas area as we take over the new transition inside of our chapters on October 1st. And we're going to be focusing on some new chapters down in that area as well, because she's done some great work with one that we've done, and we've got 2 more that are up in the northern area with the Palm Harbor, as well as Tarpon Springs core groups that are going right now, and we will be soon to start a new midday, or she's saying 3, midday St. Pete area. So as you think about people that you can help, that would be a great thing to reach out to Christine and help. So thank you very much. So if you're one of those who's going, I don't know what I want to do, I'd love to be involved at some bigger level, raise your hand, give me an email, send me something. Reach out, let's talk and see what we can do to help you live at a bigger level inside BNI. Okay, the next person I am going to introduce you to is absolutely phenomenal. Shirley Town, the very first time that Tricia and I ever met her or heard her speak was at a national conference in North Carolina. Tricia came out of that session, and I was in a different session, and she said, you are going to die when you hear this conversation. It's so good. I'm glad they record it, and y'all can get that recording, by the way. If you haven't listened to it, on BNI University, you might want to write this one down. It's called Power Teams on Steroids. Shirley Town, not the Shirley team. Shirley Town has done things that no one else has done. In fact, when she started in BNI just a few years ago, by the way, she started, and she was part of a chapter that when she took over as president after being there for a very short time, you know, some of you have done that, you get in, boom, 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 really fast. She was the president. It started with 45 members. Now, 45 members, good sized chapter, right? Yeah, it wasn't for her. She said, no. We want to go bigger, and we want to go big or go home. What's the biggest there is in the United States? And she went for it. And now they have, you know how y'all have a chapter website? Did you know that? Yeah. If you go see your chapter website, it'll tell you rolling totals and how much money. Check out hers. Rolling totals of 9.7 million with 112 members. Is that crazy? You all are wondering, how do you have a chapter bigger than 70 whatever, right? 112, #1 size chapter in the United States. She's here to fire you up. This gal she is full of energy, full of fun, and really, Shirley can teach you how to really find a referral rock star partner. Because that's what we're looking for, so those rock star partners that can just bring us so much business every single day. So, cue the music, DJ, and bring down Shirley Town!
Alrighty. Good morning, everybody. We're super excited to be here. So, this is my family. 5 Siberian Huskies, and my husband, and the Easter Bunny. The Easter Bunny, my husband, we got out of there, and then another dog comes up with his pet owner, and the Easter Bunny comes alive and starts interacting. And I said, honey, he said, I didn't know that the Easter Bunny was a live person. And I was like, yeah, I think we scared him. He was scared stiff. So we come in, 5 Huskies, they do this little squeezy toy and get their attention, and there you have it. And the Easter Bunny was like, didn't move. So then the wiener dog comes, and he comes alive. So yeah, he knows that Huskies just don't like bunny rabbits. Yeah, so anyway, so this is our Christmas picture. And the next one. So, funny story, when we got married, I said to my husband, you have to hold me accountable. I cannot have more than 2 dogs. Because, I just know that about myself. More than 2, I just can't. I gotta have a limit. You have to hold me accountable. He's like, okay, we'll do it. So we foster number 3, and I fell in love with her. And I was like, honey, we can't let her go. And he was like, remember, 2-dog rule. And I sent him a picture of this guy. And I said, we need to amend the 2-dog rule. And if you don't say yes, this is going to be my next husband. So I held on to that. And so the fourth foster comes along, and I fall in love with it. And I'm like, honey, we can't let this dog go. And he's like, the 2-dog rule. And I sent him this again. And then the 5th dog happens, and so anyway, you get the point. And then the next one, got one more? Oh, that's it. Okay, so that's how we ended up with 5. So I have realized that 5 is our new limit, and he does hold me accountable to that, because he sent me a picture and said, this is my next wife if you had another one. So we have maintained 5 for 2 years now. So anyway, I want to talk about my BNI story and how I got into BNI. So when I have an ADT home security dealership, and when I was buying my business partner out, I went to the local bank and got a loan. And so this guy calls me up and he's like, hey, have you ever heard about BNI? I said, I have. And he said, would you like to come substitute for me? And I was like, well, you did give me a lot of money. I guess I'll go. So I go to substitute for him. I walk in, there's like 35 people there, and I just couldn't get over how amazing it was. It was very organized. It was very well put together, and it was nothing I had experienced before. So I was in this room full of maybe 8 to 10 people that got together every other week for breakfast. And so that's what I was doing at the time when I substituted in his BNI chapter. And I thought I had it good. So in that room, I had one awesome person that was sending me a ton of referrals. I mean, she was a referral rock star in my book. She was what I call a thoroughbred. She was sending me referrals to everyone she knew. She was always promoting me, always creating for me. But she was exactly what I was looking for. And so when I went to this other room, I looked around and there was nothing but like amazing people in there. The structure was different. It was everything I had ever wanted and looked for, and I didn't even know it existed. So I substituted for them, and I started looking at all those people thinking, wow, this is exactly what I'm looking for. I mean, they were all there. I mean, there were 35 people, 36 people on the roster. They were pretty much all in the room. They're all talking about what they did. They seemed very intentional. And when I compared it to the room I was in, I only had 1 or 2 people like that. So the whole time I'm substituting for it, I'm thinking, I so need to do this. And I realized I needed to break up with my other folks. And how was I going to do that? Because I did have relationships in the room. So I go back to this little tiny hole-in-the-wall place where we met. And I go up to this guy that had just sent an awesome referral. I'd sent him a deck and a dot for a total of like $70-something thousand. And I asked him for some business cards. And he said, oh, well, I'm out of business cards. I said, well, I've showed your work to some people and they love it, and I need some business cards to be able to refer you. I was like, you need to go see Tanya. She can get them for you same day. He said, no, this to print is $20 cheaper, and I'm waiting for my cards to come in. And like, that really offended me. So I looked at him and I was like, dude, are you serious? Like, I just gave you the $70-something thousand job, and you're talking to me about $20? He said, well, Tanya's never sent me anything. I said, well, Tanya's the only person in this room that sends me something. And he was like, okay. And I was like, no, not okay. Like, you need to get your business cards from her, because we need to support her, because out of everybody in this room, she's the one bringing the most business in. He said, well, she's never brought anything to me. And I was like, well, I brought something to you, and Tanya brings something to me, so I need you to bring something to Tanya. Do you understand? I looked at him, and I was like, and he looked at me like, well, I'm like, he looked at me in like pure, utter amazement. And I turned around and I left. I voted with my feet that day. Never, ever looking back, except to get Tanya. So I recruited 3 people from there. But as I looked around that room, you know, my dad always taught me there are 2 types of people in this world. There are donkeys and there are thoroughbreds. And that dead guy, what do you think he was? Can you make a donkey noise for me? I mean, I don't know why I hadn't seen it before. Like, he was making the donkey noise from the moment I ever met him. And so Tanya was in the room, and Tanya was a referral rock star, and so Tanya was a thoroughbred. Can you make a thoroughbred noise? There you go. We can work on that. So I left, I went to BNI, and I got to hang out with a whole lot more thoroughbreds.
So we're going to introduce the facilitators today. So my name is Christine Mancini, and I'm the Southern Pinellas Area Director, and I'm also owner of Floors for Any Room. I'm a residential and commercial flooring contractor. We have an appointment-only showroom in Pinellas Park, but we'll also come to your home or place of business to bring samples with us and help you choose what's going to best suit your needs and in your space. And now I'd like to introduce Danielle, who is also going to be one of my co-facilitators. Danielle.
Is it on? Oh,
It's on.
Hi guys. Danielle Stevens with Bella Vita Architectural Design. I help my clients design their dream homes and commercial spaces while saving them time and money. If you'd like to know more about that, you can always give me a call. I have my business card to pass out to you. So I am also on the ambassador team in Eastern Hillsborough supporting Prosperity in Action and growing revenue. And I'm a proud member of Capital Group. Woo! All right, and next up is Chris Tyre.
Hello, everyone. Chris Tyre with NFM Lending, also known as the Mortgage Millennial. I have been in BNI almost 2 years now. My home chapter, where I'm coming in as the president, is Roaring Revenue down in Riverview. I also am an ambassador on the Eastern Hillsborough team, helping supporting Johnny Yao and Success Express and Title Revenue. And I have the pleasure of bringing up next Maria Elena D'Amico.
Hello, everybody. Maria Elena D'Amico here, Already Property Management. I am the dreaded property manager. I am a vice president in Prosperity in Action. Hello, guys. I am the future mentor coordinator there. I am also the director for Direct to Success. And I'm here today to talk to you about the greeting. And from that, I would like to hand this off to Mr. Jimmy Willis. There we go.
Good morning. I'm Jimmy Willis. I'm a space explorer for Shelf Genie. We do custom pull-out drawers. I'm a proud member of Platinum in the back there. Hi, Platinum. And I am a director consultant for Referral Connection. And today I'm going to be talking to you about engaging people in your team. If you take away nothing else today, take away some enthusiasm. So, and speaking of enthusiasm, I want to introduce J.C. Richardson.
J.C. Richardson, that awesome coffee lady with Organo. And before I get started and tell you anything else about me, just smile. Okay, that's my little mantra now. Smile. I'm J.C. Richardson with that amazing BNI Dealmaker chapter, and I also support that awesome BNI Platinum chapter and BNI Movers and Shakers. And I am excited to be here to share this visitor host information with you because we're going to smile for the next probably hour. So get started. J.C. Richardson, Organo Coffee, and I'm going to introduce Danielle and Maria Elena to do the next part of this program.
Thank you. All right. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to kick off this lesson by discussing EVE, or EVE. Who remembers from your BNI University courses what EVE stands for? EVE stands for Exceptional Visitor Experience.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Ring any bells,
yeah.
anyone?
That's
Anyone?
it.
Okay, so this one will be easier. I'd like to hear from a few different people in the audience. What does it mean to provide an exceptional visitor experience? To be alert and welcoming? Yes. You want to connect with people? Yes. You want to be there before they get there? Yes, Tony. Introduce them to potential contacts. Okay, anyone else? Exceptional visitor experience, yes. Show them where the coffee is. That's first, right? Okay, so when you think about these different things that we do or that you can do, how would you personally contribute? How do you personally contribute to an exceptional visitor experience? You, personally, today or after October 1st? Yes. Make it about them. That's awesome. Great answer. Anyone else? Yes.
Step out of your normal conversations and look for the people.
Yes. Step out of your normal conversations. Yes. Yes. Name tags. Why are name tags important? That's right. Absolutely. So we know that they're visiting us, right? Anyone else? How do you participate? Yeah, remember their name. Yes. Introduce them to their contact sphere. Do you do that now? Yes? Awesome. Yes. Awesome. And then you bring them and you help them introduce them to someone that they're looking to meet. Yes, Tony. Follow up with them. What a concept, right? So, yeah. Ask them for 2 business cards, right? Everybody can also ask for their business cards. That's right. So thinking about the visitor host experience in your own chapter, whether it's you've been a member for a week or 10 years, what could we do differently? What can you do differently at your chapter meeting this week? And what can you do differently on your visitor host team starting when the new term starts? So let's think about that. What could you do different or better? Train every member to be a host. That is the best answer of the day so far. I love that. Who is part of the visitor host team? Everyone. You have something in the back? Oh, okay. Okay, Maria Elena.
So at this point, we're going to do a little role playing in here, all right? I don't hear any groans. We're going to have a little role playing. We're going to have a little fun, right? Okay, better. I heard that. Okay, here's, hey. All right, here's what we're going to do. Before we do it, let me give you a little breakdown, all right? The people in the front row are going to stand up, turn to the people behind them. Actually, everybody's going to stand up. The front row, turn to the row behind you. The third row, turn to the row behind you. And you're going to talk to the person behind you. We're going to do a little interacting, all right? One of you decide who is the visitor, and one of you decide who is the visitor host. All right, now if you look in your participation guide, you will see there are 3 scenarios laid out for you. What we're going to do is one of you take the visitor, one of you take the host. You're going to role play the first. We'll give you 2 minutes. At the end of 2 minutes, I'll call for the second scenario. We'll go to the second one. Then we'll call 2 minutes, and we'll go for the third, and get a little feel about how it feels like to be on one side or the other of this. How does that sound? How does that sound?
Everybody clear on the instructions?
Everybody ready? All right, stand up.
All right. So we're going to call on a few of you guys to share. For those of you that played the role of visitor, I know you each played different roles, but let's say for the first scenario, can you stand and please share one thing that the visitor host did that you felt was really engaging or grabbed your attention? Volunteers? Okay. That's okay.
He asked me what I did for a living.
Uh-huh.
And when I explained it to him, he made me feel very comfortable about showing up for the first time and wanted to move me over to other people that I'd be able to work with and make me feel comfortable about the industry I was in.
Awesome. Awesome. Did everybody hear that? They told her that it was a seat-specific group, so no competition in the room. Yes, in the back.
Well, the thing that I liked the best was Amanda just really sort of smiled at me. And
That's awesome. Smiling. What a simple concept, right? Friendly, welcoming. They prepared you for the 30-second weekly presentation.
That's
right?
important. It's
That
very
is
important. How many people have their visitors come into this and you get that blind stare when you tell them, you're going to have to talk.
Please. Or maybe some people in the room the first time you visited a BNI chapter.
Exactly.
You didn't want to don't call on me, please.
So let me ask you this, guys. Why is it important to engage visitors who attended the meeting? Why would you want to engage them? You have to make them comfortable to
right?
want to come back. Jinx. You have to make them comfortable to want to come back.
Yes.
That's the most important. Please.
If you guys could stand when you speak just so everyone can hear you. That's right.
A lot of business is done with visitors, whether they join or not. Very important.
Engaged visitors equals new members, which equals more referrals passed.
Yes.
Very important.
That's right.
Now let me ask you this. What would happen if we didn't
We've got one
focus
here.
much in-
We've got one
I'm
more
sorry.
person who'd like to share.
Sorry,
Okay.
we can't see.
So the best thing is, though, is we all know this first impressions are everything. So if we come to a chapter and that business is feel welcome, I guarantee you're walking out the door before they can sit down and do the presentation.
And actually, that leads into my second question. What happens if we do not focus any attention on these visitors? What happens if we do not engage them?
Greg Chakowski, Primo Auto Collision. I teach them to stand up and introduce themselves in their business just like I did there. But also we can make their coffee, add their sugar and cream, and introduce them to someone that might be good in their contact sphere.
So what happens if we don't engage them?
Oh, here comes a mic.
So I think I'm 26 years old, and there's a lot of people in my generation that have no idea what the hell BNI is. So when I went in for my first meeting, the only reason that I knew was because my boss had kind of prepared me. But I went in and I was like, what is this? Like, there's ways to go about it. There's a system. And I think if that's the main thing with BNI is if you're following the system, it works. So, you know, if you're going in not knowing what BNI is and you have somebody that's there welcoming you and making you feel comfortable, it just is kind of easy for you at that point. So
That's awesome. Yes.
Anybody else?
All right, so for everyone, what challenges do you foresee with engaging these visitors and how will you overcome them? You've been chosen for this specific leadership role on the visitor host team. So does that mean that the people that put you in that spot, they believe that you're going to be the best in your chapter at your role? Absolutely. But that doesn't mean that your role won't come with some challenges. So can any of you share with me something that might be a challenge for you and how you might overcome it? Yes, sir.
So when I came into this, I was thinking I had like 4 or 5 people on my team, but now I realize I've got the whole chapter on my team.
Yes.
And so that's my challenge, getting the whole chapter up to speed.
That's a great answer. Yes. The whole chapter is the visitor host team.
Stand, because they can't see.
Yes, Tony.
Sometimes people don't fit right into the contact spheres like finance or real estate. So sometimes you have to know your members on a more personal level so you can find ways to refer them outside of just the general easy contact spheres.
Yes, get to know your members and what they do so you can bring a visitor straight to them, right?
Russ Hodill with Revenue Raisers. Myself personally, I don't usually get social until I've had about 2 or 3 cups of coffee in me in the morning. So I guess a personal challenge for me would be just to wake up a little earlier, get my caffeine in me, and you know, make sure that when I get to the meeting, I'm fully engaged.
Awesome. Yes. There's coffee over there, everyone, in case that anyone missed it. We got coffee. Yes. That's right. How many people have heard a visitor say during the portion where you ask, what impressed you most about the meeting? They say, you guys really seem like a family. Where do you think that starts?
With you.
With you, right? At that visitor host table. All right, so our next activity is going to be headed up by,
One
sorry.
more question.
Yes.
One more question.
Oh,
and then
sorry,
we'll
sorry.
pass it
One
off
more
to the next
question.
group.
My apologies.
No, it's okay. Was there anything when you were talking to your partner in the activity, anything that they did that you may want to implement and take back to your chapter? Anything that their group is doing that you think, hey, this is a really great idea, we should do it where we are?
I got one for you.
Yes.
Please.
So I've noticed in a few chapters, especially Referral Masters does this very well. They take it through, they get the business card, having it on the table is great. But social media really runs our everyday life. Everyone's got a phone. I guarantee you looked at it 4 or 5 times in this meeting. They take a picture of that and they put their contact and business card on their page. So let's say you forget Susan that does chiropractic. Hey, there's a card on the page. I can look at it, and that's an easy way to generate a referral and get that visitor to stay in the chapter.
Awesome.
So as I was listening to other people talk, I thought about pre-framing, and a great way of greeting that new
say at the end of our meeting, we're going to ask the visitors what they liked about the chapter. And if you get them focused on what they liked and they're thinking, that's what I'm going to say, it really sets them up for a good experience.
Awesome, yes.
This is James Vihar from Discount Science and Wraps and BNI Old Smart Chapter Business Connection. We did our mock-up and we were talked about the GRIP. It's a acronym for the 4 words. So it's important that when the visitor comes, and we all know we could bring them coffee, feel welcome, but it's important that they know what's the GRIP stands for, right? It's the growth. Do you want the growth of the business? Do you want referrals? We have, introductions, and we can engage them, and we can get the profit. In the end, everybody needs to have more profits, right? So that's very important that we know.
Awesome, yes. Thank you so much. Anyone else? Okay, now we're going to move on to J.C. Richardson and Jimmy Willis, who are going to talk about converting visitors to members. Give them a round of applause, guys.
Good morning again. All right. So we've had a great welcome to your visitors. You've executed a great meeting. What comes next? Whose role comes next after the meeting? Not a post-visitor host, no. Who knows? Orientation facilitator, all right? Now, in your BNI University, you should have run across something called TAP. But before we discuss that, why is it important to convert a visitor to an applicant? Say that again? All together. Very good. I want to get you all on the same page. So does anybody remember TAP in the university? T-A-P. T stands for explaining what time requirements are involved. Okay? How much time is involved? You need to explain that up front. A stands for attendance. You need to explain to them what attendance is required. And I think back to Shirley's speech this morning about the thoroughbreds. You want them to be bought in. You want them to buy in. And P stands for participation. Participation. What comes to mind when you talk about participation in BNI? One-to-ones, referrals, CEUs. What's the big one? How about thank you for closed business? All right. So my peppy partner here, J.C. Richardson, is going to introduce you to an activity we're going to do.
Okay, and we are going to do an activity, but we're going to kind of get the elephant out of the room. Because when Jimmy asked, what is the next section or who are the next people, most of you said what? Post-host. Okay, everybody do this. Say post-host. Say it again. Now say no more. Now when you go home, keep saying no more. And I thought that it was important for just the orientation the open networker orientation facilitators to know that, but it's important for every visitor host to know that so that we can be saying the right thing. Now, I know when I had to learn it, I was tongue-tied. I don't know about you. I was like, we are the and we are for whatever. No more whatever. Write it down. And keep repeating it until we get it, and we're all on the same page. Now, here's what we're going to deal with. Many of you will be dealing with getting those new people in. All of us do it, but at the end of that meeting, some of you are real important to that. So it's not your job to go in and do another 90-minute meeting. Everybody, repeat that to your neighbor. You don't go and do what? Say it to your neighbor. No more 90-minute meetings after the meeting. Some people do that. But here's what we're going to do in our activity. In your activity, you've got on page, let me see, it's got a line that's with, it says orientation. Let me find it for you.
Visitor orientation outline.
And what page number is that, Jimmy? That's on page 10, I think, in your book.
Page 10.
Visitor orientation outline. Now, here's what we're going to do so we won't be real loud and rowdy. The first row, I'm going to ask you to stand. First row, everybody on the first row, just stand. Now, every other row stand, and the rest of you remain seated. So every other row, just stand real quiet. Every other row. We're at the end of that meeting, and it's your responsibility to make people understand or to help new members to understand their commitment. So now I want you to turn around first, because on that page it's got some instructions. And I want you to use anything on that, actually on that orientation list, that you want to explain to the new member. You could do them all in a few minutes, but I want you to explain to them their commitment based on those steps in the outlines. Everybody understand? Do you see those? Everybody's got it. So now, turn around to the people that are sitting and go ahead and train them. Let them know what their commitment. Walk over to someone that's sitting, that's behind you.
They can stand.
Okay, now, I know you got something out of that. I hope you did. Stay focused, because your role, all of you should know this, but those of you that are specifically in this role need to do it well. You do it well because it helps to do what? Grow our chapters. How many of you want to grow? Yes, and yes.
So who is more comfortable about discussing things with business? Nobody? Did you learn? Who can share with us something they learned about telling what the time commitment is? How many of you have never been on the business coach team?
I can tell you something. I'm a president now of the Movers and Shakers. When I have the, after we induct a new member, and I go over the time constraints and everything, not constraints, time requirements and things, everybody looks at me like, seriously? Telling them this now, as they're joining, or before they join, it's going to eliminate all of that surprise.
Exactly. All right. How long do we take to explain our benefit? When we're sitting down with visitors, we're going to share with them a little bit about what our story is. How long do you take to do that? 30 seconds? A minute? Certainly not more than 2 minutes.
There were some other people, I think. We're kind of at a disadvantage with the lighting, so you may need to yell out and let us know.
The story that we have in our chapter is we have a member that maybe go to a chapter by her boss, and she reluctantly went to a meeting and didn't want to get involved. And now she's been on our leadership team for over a year.
Okay. And there's another, yes.
The thing I want to share is what I really truly love about BNI is the accountability. And so if I can get my visitors to understand the importance of that accountability, then they will think very seriously, is this something they really want to do? Or maybe it's something they're not, they don't want to do because I do want their raise. So I think that's very important.
Yes, thank you.
A tip for the visitor orientation host is it can be very intimidating to that visitor to be told your time commitment outside of this meeting is 4 to 5 hours a week. How do I have that time? Ask them, do you already take a lunch break? Do you already meet with a client for lunch? Your 2 one-to-ones a week, you're not actually taking any more time. Just schedule your one-to-one for the lunch break that you're already taking. It's also possible to do Skype one-to-one. So you can kind of lower that
You're gonna have many, many people that come in because many of us were the same way. It's like, are you telling me a 90-minute meeting? I have appointments during that 90-minute meeting time. I have 2 appointments. Well, now, you got 2 appointments, but some of you are sitting in front of anywhere from 35 to 70 people that could generate how many more appointments? So your time commitment, we have to share that. And we have to share the value of those 90 minutes sitting in front of you.
Anyone else have a comment? Yes.
So one of the things that I got out of this was really working with a visitor. A lot of BNI members are solopreneurs, so talking to them that you're going to have 29 in our chapter, 29 people that will become salespeople for you. And what would you, as a sales manager, want to train them to do to bring you referrals? And now it's not about the time; it's about as Cubby says, start with the end in mind, and really helping them focus on by participating in this process. It's really going to add a whole new sales team to what it is they do.
Excellent. Anyone else have a comment?
I got one comment.
Yes.
So I had a question, or I was questioning the time commitment in the beginning, but the way in which it was explained that to me is how much time would you give your best customer? And if you treat BNI as your best customer, is time well spent.
And another way to put that is, how much time would you spend training your best salesperson?
And if that person, if that new person comes out from that orientation and helps to grow that chapter, and they're better members because they've been in front of us, in front of you, then we have done a great thing. What I'm going to encourage everyone to do in closing is change your mind. If you don't change your mind, you know what? I'm going to tell you this, and you guys, I'm going to tell you this. It's like where your mind says is where your behind sits. Write that in your notes. We have got to change our minds because, see, I could be rich in a day, but I want to be wealthy. And to be wealthy takes time. So we've got to train new people, and we've got to retrain ourselves to realize that BNI takes time, but it works. It's a proven system. I think we got it, Jimmy.
Yes, sir. And next up is the millennial,
Yes,
Chris.
And he's going to talk to you about some of the objections that you may come up with.
All right. Well, thanks for having me up here, guys. We can take you it's very important that we build the proper expectations beforehand. And this is going to be very important to everyone in the room, but most specifically for our open networker orientation facilitator. If you look at that as 2 different kind of roles, it becomes much easier to memorize and say when you're standing up there as your leadership team. So go ahead and say it after me. The first part of that role is our open networker. The second part of that role is going to be orientation facilitator. So hi guys, I'm Chris Tyre with NFM Lending, and I'm here at Roaring Revenue, and I am the Open Networker Orientation Facilitator. You look at it that way, that's how I kind of, it sunk in for me. And so what I'm going to be able to go over today, I get the opportunity of presenting overcoming objections. And when they told me that I had to do this, I was like, absolutely, I was blessed. I was like, in my business, all I do every day long, all day long, is overcome objections. How many people out there are in sales? Yeah, that would be all of us. Raise your hands. All of us. So when you're in sales and you're selling anything, goods or services, you're going to come across some objections. So what you need to do, or what I would highly advise, is to think of some common objections that you're going to come across. And what we do in my office, we do a lot of role playing. So we're going to come up here, we're going to have a couple objections, we're going to do some role playing, and I'm going to teach you guys about how to overcome certain objections, and I'll interject, it'll be kind of role play, but also give you guys little pointers here along the way. Most importantly though, I want to go over the fact that an objection is not a rejection. It's simply a request for more information. If you think of it that way, it becomes there's a lot less reluctancy when you're going out there. Now, this is a part of a training specifically for the open networker / orientation facilitator. But how many times has that person had to have a sub or couldn't make it to a meeting, and then someone else on the visitor host team had to step in? So I want everyone to pay close attention when we're going over the next part. If you'll turn to page 11 in your participants guide, first and foremost it says here, the best way to overcome objections is with a what? Anybody? Story? I like to take it a step higher than that. When I think story, that can kind of be like a fib. I want to say that it has to be a true and genuine story. And I like to relate it back to the industry-specific person that is in my orientation. So next we're going to go over, I'm going to bring up Christine here with me to go over some common objections that you will have. It's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when. So these are the type of objections that you're going to have, and there are going to be more objections too, not just the ones that we go over. I highly suggest you write those down and think of ways to tell a genuine and true story to actually overcome that objection. Because if it's not true, it's not genuine, they're going to see right through that. So, Christine, if you want to go ahead and start off with a couple of common objections that we will
Absolutely. Who has heard the objection, it costs too much money? I don't have that money. Yes, I can see some hands going up. So how would we overcome that objection, Chris?
Well, for myself personally, I thought about how many referrals would it take for me to recoup my costs. And in my industry, I recoup my costs 4 times over in just one referral. Now that may not, I'm in mortgages, that may not apply to everyone. So if you have you want to be very aware of who's in your orientation, because I wouldn't necessarily say that with a different industry where it takes a few more referrals. So I would kind of relate it back to them, tell them a story that is true and genuine that happened in my chapter or in another BNI chapter. I encourage you guys to visit other chapters, you can do that. So that's the way you get genuine stories to relate that back to them and tell them, this person in X industry found that they recouped their costs in 5 referrals. You will get 5 referrals very fast coming out the gates.
So another objection that we sometimes hear is that BNI takes up too much time.
That's a great point. I actually want to see if I can call Tanya, because she actually had an awesome rebuttal for the time.
Tanya.
You want me to say the same thing?
Say the same thing.
Say it.
Perfect.
Okay. Well, do you already take a lunch break? Am I doing this with you, Chris?
Let's do it.
All right.
But BNI takes up too much of my time.
Well, let me ask you this, Chris. Do you already take a lunch break?
I do.
Do you ever schedule lunch breaks with clients or dinner meetings with clients?
Yeah.
Well, you just need to do that with BNI. Just incorporate those one-to-ones into that time that you already have in your schedule, and you'll see the results really fast, because every time you have a one-to-one, you can be generating referrals. It's really good extra time.
Wow, so you're telling me I can kind of do what I'm already doing and use it to generate more business.
Absolutely.
That's a beautiful thing. You want to make it look, you want to make them realize that BNI is their sales team. So when they're building a sales team or a marketing person they're bringing on, it takes time to invest into that person and into training them. If you take time into investing into your new sales team, you will find the return on investment for your time. I always like to say that there's, on average, each person has about 200 to 250 people close into their network. And if you think of a 40-member chapter, you multiply 40 times 250. I don't know what that is. I was a millennial. We always had calculators, but you think it's a lot. It's a lot that you are expanding your network, and that's way worth the time.
And the last one, and we have to do this quite quickly. The meetings are too often. Is it really necessary to be on a weekly basis?
That's a very great point. Studies show that there were BNI chapters before that met every 2 weeks, and they passed 52% less referrals. So yes, it's all about being visible, being top of mind, and being in meeting every week.
Fabulous. Thank you, Chris. So let's just think about talking about overcoming some objections. Yes, Chris?
I'm sorry?
We're going to close out.
On the closeout, talking about objections, well, when you're doing that, you want to just make it very quick, and you You want to just overcome their objections, answer any questions that they have, be genuine and honest, and that's basically sums that up.
Booyah.
Thank you so much. Awesome job. Isn't he wonderful? I love Chris. So, we're coming to the close of our session together. And if you turn to page 12 of your participant guide, there is a place for you to create an action plan. And this is something, just write a few notes about what you're going to do and what you're going to implement when you go back to your chapters. And how will you know you're going to be successful? And then the last thing, in the very back of your guide, there is a quick reference guide, which you can refer to, that will just give you some ideas of some of the roles, some of the things that you will be doing in your role. So, our time together is coming to a close. I'm so sorry. We really enjoyed ourselves.
I want to leave you with a few thoughts.
Absolutely.
If that's all right.
That I was leading it right into you.
Perfect. So we started off talking about the exceptional visitor experience, right? So I want to leave you guys thinking of this, knowing your role and understanding that the visitor host team is just that. It is a team. You are not two greeters and two orientation facilitators and one coordinator. You are a team together. We want to be able to lean on each other and communicate with each other to provide the most amazing experience for every single visitor that comes to your chapter. And why is that important? Because what happens when there are exceptional visitor experiences happening in our region, we get more members, right? What do more members mean? More money. Can I hear that a little bit louder? Anyone want to make more money? Yes. So be a part of that team. Encourage the rest of your chapter to be a part of that team. And that is your visitor host training, guys. Thank you so much. You guys 10 minutes until we're all going back here in the main room for Spencer and Tricia to close us out. Thank you, guys.
So are we ready for the last little bit? If we can get in, get going so we can get out on time. I want to talk about learn more to earn more, because have we been doing a little bit of that today, learning something exciting? Yes. Some cool new stuff? Yes. We're excited about what's happening, and I think this hits really well on the first core competency. So I want to really quickly talk about the fact that there's 3 core competencies in creating referral success up on the slides. First is to get the right referral knowledge. Do you feel that we've gotten some of that knowledge today? Yes. Second is to stay immersed. And then the last thing that we want to do, and the reason why it's so important for us to be here with each other, is we want to get our referral partners trained by the experts. So you're getting that information and we're doing it together. Now, a quick little recap on these. So first, we want to get the right referral knowledge, because networking and referral marketing is a learned skill. We have to learn how to do it. So I was trying to think, okay, what can I teach you guys to do in like 8 minutes? And I was like, let's do a foreign language. Are you up for learning how to say learn more to earn more in a foreign language? However, I didn't want anybody to cheat, so I was like, we can do Dothrakian for Game of Thrones. But the language that I need isn't there, so we're going to go with Star Trek and Klingon. Are you ready to learn to speak some Klingon? All right, so I'm going to share with you. Here's how you say learn more to earn more in Klingon. I'm going to say it, and then you get to say it. Does anybody in here know how to speak Klingon? 1. I'm surprised you admit that. All right, so ready? Na, ba, jo. All right, so now you know how to say learn more to earn more in Klingon. You did not expect that to happen today, did you? So we want to get the right referral knowledge. The second thing is we want to stay immersed in the knowledge, because is learning once enough? No, because how do you say learn more to earn more in Klingon? Okay, how many of you just went ha 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 ha? Because I mean, that's kind of what it sounds like. So we want to make sure that we have that stay immersed, and here's how you spell it in case you're wondering, because yeah, I don't know how to do Klingon either. I had to look it up. I am not that big of a nerd. But we want to stay immersed because we forget super quick. And that's one of the great things about BNI University and our leadership team roles. We have them there to be able to watch whenever we need them, and that's going to be super, super key for our success this year. And then our third core competency is you want to get your referral partners trained by the experts. It's not enough to do it yourself, because if you're the only one that knows how to speak Klingon in your chapter, how's that going to work? When you go back to your chapters this week, this year, and you're talking donkeys and thoroughbreds, they're not going to have a clue of what you're talking about if they weren't here, will they? Don't you wish that your entire chapter could have been here to get this knowledge together? It would have been so much more powerful. And in support of that, again, I love what we have with BNI University. And I saw this in the Power of One, I think it was number 15. So how many of you remember, I know, we watched a lot, the Power of One report, and it says what? Members in the green give 8 times more than members in the red and gray. Do you think that would mean more for your chapter? And if we can get more people to be thoroughbreds, to be in the green, it's going to be super powerful for us. And so in support of that, I was thinking about how do people get in the green? And the Ignite Your Business program, if you're a graduate of the program, can you please stand up really quick so we can say congrats? So what we found is people that have taken the Ignite Your Business program have a 25% higher Power of One report. Past 21% more referrals, and here's the number that I'm in love with, 72% more thank you for closed business. Yes. And so if we can all speak the same language together, it's super powerful because the chapter that learns together earns together, and we want to create that. And so in support of that, we are offering our Power Team Incentive, which means the more people that you get involved from your chapter, we'll make it easy from your chapter, that does the Ignite Your Business program. So hopefully we can get your Power of One score up to like 25% higher, get more people in the green. There's a huge discount, even the opportunity to take the program for $490, which is half off of the normal tuition. So you can hopefully learn more to earn more, because as a team, we will all create and achieve more. And so just a quick recap, 3 core competencies. Number 1, get the knowledge. Number 2, stay immersed. Number 3, get your referral partners trained by the expert. Live in this, and then hopefully as we all be one in our learning, bring one to the learning, we'll be able to learn more to earn more. Thank you so very much. Spencer's coming back up. Go off that way.
Did you guys learn anything today? Some good stuff? You're going to bring me back up, I hope. All right, so if you are to look in your manuals that you have, your participants' guides, if you turn it to the back, on the back of this, what we're giving you is the reporting uploads information. Now, this is a critical piece for us to have accountability and track what we're doing. When it comes to uploading, you can upload from whatever email address you want, but if you want to have access to those reports, the access is controlled by Google accounts. So a Google account is needed. And we want to have a Google account that's actually tied to your business address. So if you have a Google account, you might have your name at gmail.com. Great, you can upload from that. And most of you are going to have some type of report that you will be uploading, whether that's the chapter marketing team report, whether that's the chapter success meeting, or many of the other different reports. You need to be able to upload it with a Google account. You may be looking, I don't even know how to do that. If you want to go very simply to an address that's right here on your page that says reports, that's the reporting hub. If you go to the reports page at the very top, there's a 3-minute video that will walk you through exactly how to register your current email address as a Google account. So if you have a big name, whatever, and you're going, this is not a Google account, you can register your email address as a Google account so that it works. Because here's what's going to happen. At a changeover, we're going to give access to all the new leaders that can see the Gold Star tracking, the Platinum Star tracking, those types of things. Now, if you want to see the reports that were uploaded for that and you want to look at what that was, the only way you'll get access is by your BNI Connect email address logging in to Google to have that happen. So that may be something that you're going, what? How in the world? I don't know this whole reporting center. I don't know what that's about. That's okay. You don't have to figure it out. We'll help you figure it out. And it's not something you need to know today. But if you get ready for, by October 1st, registering your email address as a Google account so you can upload and have access to those, that would be extremely helpful. If you didn't know how to do that and you were still stuck, what could be an opportunity for you? Wow, Tech Tuesdays, every single week from 11:30 to 12:30, I will take time on the webinar and I will teach you how to do whatever it is that you're stuck at. So if you don't know how to get to upload this report, I don't know how to access that report, I don't know what this Power of One, I don't know this traffic lights on reporting to you and how I log in to get those to help my chapter members, whatever you're struggling with, for those of you who've been to it, you realize that it is important, it does work, and I'm there to do it with you, right? Some of you are like, I have no idea what he's talking about. Go on to BNI Tampa, go onto the calendar, and you can find a link to go and join it anytime you want on Tuesdays between 11:30 and 12:30. I'll answer your tech questions. You can't get logged into BNI University, we'll help you figure it out. They can't get logged into BNI Connect, something's wrong, we'll help you figure it out. So that is what we've got on that. Now, I want to talk about professional development. How many of you, professional development is important to you in your world? I hope every one of you. It's one of our core values, right? It's this lifelong learning, professionally developing ourselves. We're going to take a pretty large turn from what we've been used to inside of what we call training. First off, I'm going to change the name of that conversation because it's not just training and I'm going to go to training. We're going to go to get professional development because that's really what it's about. It's about getting better, learning more to earn more. So professional development is what we're going to be considering all of our training that we have in the past. And so as we talk about specific courses, you have Member Success Program. Is Member Success Program an important part? It's vital, right? It is vital. Now, we are going to change the format of how we're doing that. We're going to change some of the instructors that have been facilitating those, and we're going to change it up. We're going to have 3 places that you're going to find them. As a matter of fact, in our region, you will find those 3 places. Number 1, right there in downtown. Mid-Florida Credit Union. Any of you been there before? The community room, that's one of the spots, okay? The next one is going to be right down there. Any of you ever been to the venue? It's one of our great BNI members, and they have a venue that's in Riverview that's right off the freeway, easy to get to. That will be our training center that we will be using over on the Brandon side of the region. And then we have another one right over here. Any of you ever been to the Verizon Center in Largo? Awesome. Those will be the 3 locations in a professional setting for our professional development. We're no longer going to do them in the back end of restaurants or different things. We're going to be in a professional setting to have them done. Now, in addition to Member Success Program, we're launching, and we have a new conversation that we're announcing here and we're promoting, and that is to the Advanced Member Success Series. The Advanced Member Success Series is a new format and a new style of professional development. It is really hands-on workshop, leave with stuff done work. So when you come to a professional development session for an Advanced Member Success Series, you're going to leave like, wow, I am ready to do one-to-ones. I am ready to do my weekly presentation. I am ready, and you have a lot of activity that you're going to be able to do in those locations. Now, amazingly, we're going to have these series in 3 locations. Amazing that they line up exactly with the other 3 locations. So much so that they're going to be done on the same days in locations at different times on that day. So, as you see, in Tampa will be the first Thursday in Tampa at the Mid-Florida Credit Union on Del Mabry. Brain fart there for a moment. Second Tuesday, we're going to be in Riverview at the venue. And the third Wednesday, we're going to be in Largo at the Verizon Center. And you say, how is that going to work, timing? Well, it looks like this. First off, we're going to have the first Thursday, and this one's going to be the Member Success Program that's going to go from 10 to 1. And then you're going to have the opportunity to do the Advanced Series from 3 to 5. So there's 2 options throughout that day that you could go to that same location, get one of those trainings. And then we have something else because we have some time in there, and that's going to be some professional workshops. Now, those workshops are going to have lots of different things, whether that is going to be talking about if you're interested in becoming an ambassador. We'll have some ambassador trainings. We will also be doing some things called trigger sheets, which is what we used in the region that I came from that really blew up business. It was amazing. So we got some time management, some different things that we're going to do as CEUs that work for you to come get an hour of training. For free, yeah, I'll show you what that means here in just a moment. So the Advanced Series is going to be the first session in Riverview, and then you're going to have Member Success Program, and then you'll have the workshop. So you see how that works? And then you have the one over in Largo, where you have the same opportunities at different times. The reason for that is now it doesn't matter which one of those times work for you. You can go to one of those locations, and it will not kill you to drive over a bridge. It will not kill you to drive to a different section of the area. It works to get there, to get what you're looking for as far as that professional development inside your business. So how do those work? Member Success Program is included in your membership. Has been, will continue to be. The workshops included in your membership, those are going to be something that will bring you value inside your world, I promise. And the Advanced Member Success Series is going to be, as we've been used to with our advanced trainings in the past, $50 each. Now, we still have our after chapter advanced trainings with our after advanced trainings team that currently do those. That is going to continue. There are going to be changes inside of who those people are that are going to be leading and facilitating the advanced series, different from what you've been in the past and different from what you've experienced in the past in those. Those will continue to be $50 each. And the Once a Grad program will continue to apply to everyone who took those courses before October 1st that were a Once a Grad grandfathered in. From the future on, those become $50 each. So Once a Grad has completed its course, and we're going to keep offering to all of you who have paid for those to come back to those. Now you may say, how does that impact E squared? Well, when it comes to E squared, we're looking at the same coverage of topics. So we're still looking to do the same thing. Cover all 5 of them, you get E squared. So whether you come to the region-based trainings that we will offer in region areas, or if you have it, your chapter sponsors that to have it after your chapter, those qualify either way for E squared. Does that make sense? Okay. So with that, it is important to realize that the E squared program, does it work? Do you make more when you go to all 5 of those trainings? Is it worth the $50 each to do it? So look at those who have already done it, look at where you're at in the process, and we can help you with that process, okay? So next up, I'm gonna bring Trisha up, and she is going to talk about our challenge that we've got. This is pretty cool stuff. So Trisha, bring it up.
I'm gonna try to be quick. So we are going to have the Great Harvest Challenge. It is a membership growth program. And we made it so that everybody could qualify. It's just who's going to be competitive enough to get it done, right? So the chapter qualifications they sponsor 2 net members.
This is between October 1st and November 30th. This is a time frame that we're looking at.
All right, so within those 2 months, you need to sponsor 2 net new members. So if you have attrition and you've dropped 2, you have to then gain 4, correct? Take a chapter photo. That's part of the qualification.
Have some fun. Take it, whether it's a Halloween, a Thanksgiving, one of those opportunities.
And then have an average in your chapter of 2.0
on the one-to-ones.
On the one-to-ones per member per week. Some of you exceed that. Some of your chapters already exceed that. Some need help, but we want you to do the 2 average one-to-ones per member per week on an average in your chapter for those 2 months. Then every new member as of October 1st must have attended Member Success Program. If you have any who have not attended, that disqualifies you. So you want to encourage your new members to attend.
But now we got to have some bonuses, because if you can do more than that and you're going, I can beat that easy. Now, if you want to sponsor more than the net 2, this is where these come into play. If you sponsor the 2, you see that you get 10 tickets. That's the qualifier. Your chapter goes into the hopper with 10 tickets. Now, every additional person is worth an additional 10 tickets in the hopper, okay? And every person that joins, that applies and is accepted into your chapter, that comes to Member Success Program before that process is up, you're going to get 2 bonus tickets for each one of those. So you see how this could add up real quickly? Because what we're going to do is we're going to have a Facebook Live event on December 5th where we're going to draw from all of those and say, this is the winning chapter. The winning chapter who qualifies with that and wins gets the chapter social on the week of December 17th, or if you already have one planned, then we'll throw into the kitty and pay for some of that, and we'll pay $300 towards your chapter social. Sound fun? Yes. Every one of us can qualify for this. All it takes is 2 one-to-ones and inviting a few people to sponsor some people in your chapter. Does that make sense? Yes. Excellent. Finishing up right here, we want to talk about very quickly the amazing amount of books that we have been able to get together. How many of you gave some books? We had a lot. We had thousands of books. So we still want to get any of those that are straggling out there. Because of our preparations for this event, we didn't go like strict to the timeline. So we want to get anything that's left at your your area success luncheons. So at your area success luncheons, bring all those books that you can so that we can donate those. We're going to get some great coverage with some TV and some media for all the amount of books we have is huge.
So one of our members in the room today, she lost her son, sorry, I'm gonna cry, 7 years ago to a tragic accident. She has been promoting a positive outlook on life, and can you click it? She is doing Pay It Forward for Ethan. Jen Bethune, she's a member over in Money Source. Is that correct? Money Source. And she has asked everyone who hears about Ethan to pay it forward. So as a region, we've decided to donate $500 to the schools that we are bringing the books to for them to purchase the books that they need or anything that they need. We encourage anyone who is interested also to either match us or to donate whatever you can to pay it forward for the schools that we are taking the books to. They are going to be local. We also have talked to Ivan Meisner about our goal of having every chapter in our region become either a superhero or a hero in the foundation that BNI has that helps children around the U.S., and it's called Business Voices. To become a hero as a chapter, it's $50. How many of you think your chapter could do that? $50. A superhero is $100. If you feel like, as a leadership, you can help us attain this goal of our whole region, every chapter becoming either a hero or a superhero, we would be the first region in the nation to accomplish this. And we encourage you as leaders to go back to your chapters, talk to them. And Andrew Gordon, he has flyers that talks about that and also can help you in getting enrolled in that program.
He's already a hero for the foundation, as are we, and we hope to find a lot more opportunities to support that. And we can do a lot of our local activities that we have right here. So we're excited about that. Do y'all get some takeaways today? Yeah, well, I know that we're at the time because we had to get those walls up and down. I'd love to make sure that you do have an opportunity to, any of you who really, if you have to go, I get it, but we do want to make sure that anybody who got some really, really good ideas from today that they're going to take away and make it happen, does anybody want to share one of those? It's okay if you don't want to because we do have to wrap up. They're all going, if I get up and speak.
The leadership team, our directors, our ambassadors, Philip Pasek with his Fast Break Audio, all of the event coordinators here, the workers here at JCC. It's been an amazing experience to have all of you together today. We've really appreciated the positive energy that you've brought to the conference.
Thank you.